Hello everybody, today we're doing chicken chow mein. So you're going to want to cook a couple of egg noodles, usually 2 is enough for 1 person. I'd recommend that you do this at least a couple of hours before you're actually doing a chow mein. The reason being is because when you're cooking noodles, you don't want to cook them hot. The reason being, when they're hot or even wet, they're going to stick to the wok and it's just going to ruin your food. So I'd recommend that you cook these in advance. All you need to do is put a couple in boiling water for about 5 minutes, 10 maximum, just until they're soft, and then straight into a sieve. Run it under cold water and then just leave it. Just let it drain and dry out, and then that'll be good to go when you're ready to cook. Okay, it's time to do chicken chow mein. The ingredients you're going to need: bean sprouts, an onion, only half an onion, 1 chicken breast, yes I'm using mini fillets, so I'll use about 3 or 4, and then 2 spring onions. Here I've got some egg noodles, that's 2 nests that I prepared earlier, nice and cold and dry. You need dark soy, light soy, sesame wok oil, remember this is only a garnish right at the end of cooking, bit of white pepper, some cooking oil, and only like a minute sprinkle of sugar, and I'll show you then. Right, let's do the preparation. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do all the veggie side things first. So all you need really, just a generous handful of bean sprouts. It's your own personal preference on how much you put on there, but that's probably about right. Sorry about the croaky voice, I have got a bit of a sore throat. I'm just getting over that flu that everyone's been getting. Next I'm going to do an onion. So what I'll do here, I'm just going to take the edge off of the end, just like that, and then like that. Okay. With an onion, so you can see there's the core, you see there's the core, so I'm just going to, from the core all the way down to the centre. I'm going to leave that, put that to the side, I'll use that later. Then all I'm just going to do now is just peel the onion like that. Okay, so again, the core. What I'm going to do from there, I'm just going to take that core out. So if you see, I've done it like at an angle, it gets rid of it. So there's the core, I can get rid of that now. When you're slicing an onion, the best way to do it is at an angle. If you see the onion actually has a guide already, you see all these lines? That's the line you need to take when you're taking each slice. So if you see, I'm actually slicing it at an angle, and I'll slice it and I'll work around it like that, so it's always got a nice angle. So if I show you like this, see how I'm working around that? Again, for you, it's your own personal preference whether you have thin slices or thick slices. But there you go. That's the first thing you're going to be frying up anyway later on, after the chicken. The next thing we're going to do is are 2 spring rolls. So with the spring rolls, what I tend to do, I find the outer leaf and I'll just pull it away, because we're not going to use that bit. Yeah, that looks a bit sad and sorry for itself. So what I'll do is I'll just tear it a bit right there. And then again with this one, this big one, There isn't actually, I want to use these leaves because they look quite nice. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to take away that bit there instead. And I'll just peel it all away. Nice and easy. Again, spring roll used as a garnish really. So just going to take off the ends. I'll get rid of those. And if you can see where it starts getting quite dark, I'm just going to cut it right there. Because what I'm going to do with this is, with the actual stems, the stalks, I'm going to probably cook those quite early. So I'm just going to slice them at an angle. Okay, and they're going to go in with the onions, just slightly after the onion. Now, with these green bits, these are going to be going right at the end. These are like the garnish, and this is what makes your Chinese, when you get your Chinese takeaway, when you get your chow mein, you always find these are quite big. So again, I'm just doing a rough cut here. There's no science to this. It's purely a garnish, so that'll be it right at the end. Okay. And then the next bit I'm going to do is the chicken. Obviously I'd go to a butcher if I could, but it's a weekend and I can't be bothered. So, right, with your chicken breast, or, well, in my case, a chicken fillet, you're always going to cut at an angle, but just do small strips, like that. Okay, nice small strips. And always cut at an angle, you see? Try and keep them as thin as you can, because it'll fry quicker and easier then for yourselves. So I'm going to do about another 2 or 3 of these. Remember, this is only for one person, so you don't have to go overboard. Always have a nice sharp knife. It just makes life so much easier to cut everything. Okay. Okay, let's cook this chicken chow mein. I've actually managed to procure some groundnut oil, so we'll use the proper stuff, eh? So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cook the chicken up. So I just need to put a drop of oil in here. I've just put this on a medium heat, and we're just going to fry this chicken up first. Got a nice little sizzle already. You can tell the chicken's full of water because look, it's sticking to the side of the wok. That shows that it's pumped full of water. It's not good stuff. So I'm going to have to clean that up before I go on to the rest of it. Otherwise it's just going to ruin the whole dish. But all I'm doing here is I'm just going to cook this up first, because this will be the last thing that goes into the chow mein. Okay, so that chicken's done, so we'll just empty that out. I'm just going to quickly clean this block again, and we're going to start again. Okay, so what I've done now, I've put the camping stove on to full power. We want to get this wok hot. I mean, so hot that you can feel the heat coming off it, and it's quite intense. At the moment, it doesn't feel like that. It feels quite warm. So I just need to leave it longer. Normally, when a wok is at the right temperature, well, from what I've seen so far, my wok will actually start smoking. When I see it start smoking, that's when I know it's ready to start the second part of the cooking. So I'm just waiting for that to do that now. When it is at heat, I'll actually put the oil around the sides because then it will help coat the sides as well. But this next process isn't going to be too long. It's probably going to take maybe 2-3 minutes at the most, maybe a bit more. So what I'll do now is I'll just get all the bits ready, just so then I'm not faffing, and also that we don't burn anything. Okay, so I can physically see a bit of hue or a bit of vapour coming out, smoke, so I think that's now right at the right temperature. So, as I said before, you'll notice if it's hot anyway, because you'll see this instantly go hot. You see that? That's exactly what you want. So first things first, straight in with the onions. Okay. And what I'll do, I'm actually going to bring the onions round up to the sides as well. It just helps coat the wok while we're at it. You can see the onions are starting to brown near enough instantly. That's exactly what we want. You might find that I'm heavy breathing on the on all my videos. I've noticed it myself recently. That is down to my humanitis, so I do apologise if it puts people off slightly, but I can't really help it too much. Okay, so that's ready. What I'll do now, I'm going to put the noodles in. So they're dry, they're cold. Hopefully they won't stick. When it comes to noodles, just constantly stir, constantly stir. Don't give them an excuse to stick to the sides. You see, when the wok's hot enough, the noodles don't stick to the pan. I've actually put enough oil in there as well, so that helps as well. But we're just gonna keep constantly stirring those in. Just mixing those onions and the spring onions in. Like I said before, remember, always make sure that your noodles are cold and dry. If they're not dry, you will find, if you remember the chicken, it was sticking to the bottom of the pan, and that's not good. It means it's going to ruin your dinner. I mean, it's not going to taste any different, but it will ruin the bottom of your pan, and means you're going to have to do all the cleaning and all that process again. So yeah. Next thing I'm going to put in is all the bean sprouts. There we go. Ooh, little scapies. Yeah, get it back in there. Look at that, it's looking perfect so far. See, you've not added anything yet. I will in a minute. Just one more thing I need to add, and that's the chicken. So I'll sprinkle the chicken in. Give that another good mix. That's looking perfect already. Almost there. Okay, let's start putting some bits and bobs into it. So I don't use salt, so I'm going to use light soy salt. That's more saltier of the two. That's for the flavour, one of the flavours. just throwing it everywhere, really, aren't I? Let's try that again. Put those in. Just make a well. There we go. Into there. Into the middle. Next, dark soy sauce. As much or as little as you want. That should colour that all up nicely. You see? Look at that. Just going to keep mixing that in. Just never stop stirring. Okay. Next I'm going to put a bit of ground pepper in. There we go. Now I'm going to add a little bit of sugar, only a tiny amount. It just helps it slightly. I'm not sure why it does it, but it does work. There we go. And then the last thing, other than the green bits, just like a quarter of a teaspoon of the sesame oil. I keep saying about this stuff, extremely potent. Don't put too much in. You see, if I stop, it's starting to stick, so I'm just do it again. I'll just keep stirring it all. That's all blended in, mixed in nicely now. So, and then the last thing, just those little bits of greens. Okay, move that out of the way a second. Then all we're going to do now is just plate it up. And then you have it. One chicken chow mein. Perfection. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.